gonna dive into it. And if the ambulance makes a cameo, don't worry about it.
I love that.
Okay, here we go.
Sound effects.
What's up, guys? It's Make It Make Sense podcast featuring Rick Productions. Today we have Mario Visions in the house. It's an honor to have you in the show, bro.
Thanks for
How you been, man?
Good, man. You know, just busy, trying to work on a lot of back-end stuff, you know, for business and all that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's crazy to see you now. You went from like being a filmmaker, which you still are, to like going into the business sides of things, right?
Yeah.
So talk to us more about that. How'd you get started? What inspired you?
Well, like the real story is, I mean, I'll make it kind of short, but I enjoy filmmaking, you know, photo, video. I miss the days where I'm able to pick up that camera and go shoot without any worry about, you know, making it feel like it's work. So when I one day told myself, like, man, I can't even pick up that camera to go film for fun and just, you know, not let it be about money, just let it be about the art. So that pushed me to start trying different businesses that can hopefully one day be able to fund me. So I could just pick up the camera and go out and shoot for fun. So that's like what I've been always pushing for. So anything I'm building is really to one day do filmmaking for just fun, just grabbing it, no business, nothing to do on that side.
That makes a lot of sense because it's like when you have to choose between fun versus paying the bills at the end of the month, it's like that creates stress and then you're not really doing it for fun anymore, right?
Yeah, and that's what it became. It became stressful. So I didn't like it at the end.
I remember when I first met you, you told me that you were working at Home Depot and how you left that job to pursue your dreams. I believe that you are one of the creators, like one of the biggest influencers and one of the biggest like prodigies to what most people want. You know, they want to leave their 9-to-5. They want to do something for themselves. They want to become a businessman, a content creator, just work for themselves. And I believe you're doing that. So you're a great example. So I'm actually happy that I have you on the show because I want to ask you some questions. Yeah. Talk to me about the moment you finally said, fuck it, I'm quitting this job. What was running through your head that day?
That's a good one. So I didn't think about it. So what's funny is like, I think for 2 months, I'll call my girl every day on the way. It was like a 30-minute drive to work. And I'll just be talking shit, just be mad. Like, man, here I go back to this. I didn't get this edit done, da-da-da-da. Like, I'll just be arguing. And I kept saying I wanted to quit. But of course, I wasn't making the action. One, I was in credit card debt. So it was like, man, like I can't quit, but I want to quit. But what made me like just quit was one day randomly my girl was like, hey, I'm tired of hearing you say this. I'm going to drive your ass out there and you're going to quit. Because if you're not going to do it, you're never going to do it. So literally, bro, she drove me and and it was on a Monday, I remember, dude. So I go in there, I asked, like, I was scared. I was like, I can't believe I'm really doing it. Like, I was happy, but then it was, like, very scary because if it doesn't work out, I'm Hispanic. So as Hispanic, you have a dad at your house going to tell you, you know, he's going to talk shit to you if things don't go well. Yeah. He's like, what were you thinking, this and that? But I remember when I quit, I went right back to the car and I started crying. Like, no. I started crying. I was like, I can't believe I did this. I'm like, like, dude, it's
tears of joy or tears
like,
of just all kinds
of things, bro. It's like happy, but at the same time scared. I'm like, is this really gonna work out? Mind you, my girl doesn't know I'm like in 80 grand debt. So like, she really doesn't.
She didn't know that part.
She didn't know nothing, bro. Like, it was just more of like, I wasn't even making a lot, bro. I was probably making like 2,000, if that, a month off filmmaking. So for me, it was already in my back of the head, okay, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna get Uber or Lyft in the meantime to hold me down. So that was like my backup plan, but I knew I could, like, I always told myself, I'm here at this job for 8 hours a day, so it's 40 hours a week. What can I do with those 40 hours if it's all for myself? So in a way, I wasn't scared. I was more of seeing it like, you know what, like, well, I was scared, but at the same time, you know, I was excited for what's to come, this new journey, and I can film every day instead of going to a place I didn't like.
Dude, that's you see, that's a good story. I was gonna tell you, like I said, you are an example of someone that left their job to pursue their dream, and you own multiple studios now in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
What made you want to get into renting out studios?
Well, the first studio that we got, which we closed down, the main reason I got down was strictly for YouTube. Okay. And for my clients. I'm like, hey, I have a place where I'm not restricted on hours. Like, if I want to create a certain visual, I'm able to help clients by not telling them, like, you know, oh, we got to half-fast it or whatever because time is not on our side. So it's to help clients, but also to help myself grow and my portfolio. So I'm able to, bring them in. We're able to create bigger. We're able to add an hour or two. So it was really to invest in myself. But I remember grabbing my phone and putting it on Instagram, like putting the tube lights, the Nanlites.
Yeah.
And I had them hanging. And I had like 6, 7 filmmakers. Yo, when is it going to be available? I want to shoot there. I'm like, okay. So obviously, like I was still shooting. I was trying to finesse, like trying to see how to make it look good. And then once I released it, it just became like some studio thing where I'm like, dude, I can't even shoot here. I can't do my YouTube videos here because
it got booked up. It got booked that quick,
that quick, and that much. Where I'm like, because my goal was, I was planning to have like my, like a light, a camera, the tripod, just for me to go there, sit down, and start talking.
Yeah.
But it just kind of overnight. It's like what just happened, and then we started getting like we got an 8-hour booking right away. It was just like, what's going on? So it just changed everything.
You put a lot of work into like your set designs. I think it's pretty amazing. Where do you get your inspiration, or who helps you out with your set designs? Because you put it together pretty well.
I think it's really, I look at the whole market of LA, and I kind of try to look at like, okay, what hasn't been done? If it's been done, how do I make it better? But I feel like that's my main thing. And also it has to be sets that I want to shoot in. So everything I build, I have to be behind it because I'm going to film there. It might be a project. It might be a YouTube video. It might be something. So I have to be passionate about that set. So that's really like what drives me to like figure out a set.
It's kind of like you're building it for yourself to film in.
And then people get to come in.
And whatever you like, people are going to like kind of thing.
Hopefully. it's sometimes you take a gamble, You
ever had a set that just kind of flunked? That just like...
Yeah.
And how soon did you figure out, like, did you wait, like, give it a month or so? Like, how long did you give it until you were like, yeah, this is not it?
They were small. They were like nothing. Like the first studio had like 3 set staff, but no one even knew about them because there were small spaces.
They're like in the corner, right? I think it was at the studio that I first mentioned.
Yeah, the first one.
And then you had like a little
one. Like
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
They were just like I didn't know what I was doing. It was just kind of like just trying to make the most out of a space,
throwing stuff together.
Yeah, but those weren't like a dominant. It wasn't like the sets that I like in my head. I had like the locker room set did good, the graffiti, the TV, the tubes, the newspaper room. Like everything did good. There was the little ones that no one really saw that didn't do good, but eventually it's like we don't even need these. Like people are they're happy with everything else. Like. So that's when I realized it's not about making a lot. It's about making less, but making them better. Yeah.
Tell me about a time, like, obviously you're full of knowledge. You're full of wisdom, man. You got it going for yourself. What would you say was the one thing you learned throughout like your entire process of entrepreneurship and filmmaking?
That's like the hardest things. I have to do it all myself. Like, from meeting a lot of people, everything falls on you. If you don't put that foot forward, nothing gets done. So you have to be the first person to make the step, to make the move. If not, everyone's just kind of like just stuck. Like you as a person with the idea and everything, you have to start it. And like that's the hardest thing. Like if you don't put discipline on yourself, nothing goes. And I tried finding people, but like they always say, not everyone has the same drive. So I learned to figure out, what they're best at, and like kind of accept that, because not everyone's gonna have my mindset. Like I want to grow, I want to keep doing things. Yeah. But yeah, just making that first step.
It's amazing, bro, because I feel like you literally just said something that a leader would say. You know what I'm saying? You took leadership, and you realize that a lot of people need direction. You know, and you're like, hey, you know what? I think I'm the guy. It takes a real man to understand that he's in a position where if one day he feels lazy, one day he feels depressed, one day he doesn't feel like doing anything, to understand that he has a huge responsibility, that if you're not doing anything, if you don't get nothing done, then people's lives get affected. People don't put food on the table. You have workers, you have people that look up to you. I went through that recently. I think I kind of fell out. I didn't want to do anything anymore. I didn't want to run the Airbnbs. I didn't want to book the weddings. I was falling behind on my edits. And a lot of my people were calling me, especially my Airbnb guys. They were like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, And then I realized that, like, wow, dude, like, I can't let these people down, And I feel like you have that in you as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know yourself, like, if we don't do anything, everything falls on us, or nothing moves, nothing grows. Yeah. So it's just something it just comes, and that's what we have to accept. Like that's what we signed up for, and there is no taking a step back or chilling. Like, it's a stressful thing that not everyone wants to take, role into.
You did mention your father. You mentioned your father a lot, as I would assume that he's one of your biggest inspirations.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pushes you a whole lot, as
Yo.
fathers should do, right? Talk to me about a time where he taught you a lesson. I want to hear about that.
Where he taught me a lesson. Well, this is something that he did without even really ever explaining it, bro. So people don't know this side of the story, but when I was like, so I never had a childhood, like life, I guess. Since I was like maybe 10, 11, or 12, I never had freedom. I was never able to hang out with friends. I had to go clean toilets with them. I had to go clean offices. I didn't have a lifestyle, bro. Like, my friends would be after school, like, we're gonna go watch a movie. I didn't have that. Saturday, I had to go help my parents clean. If I didn't, he'll take away my PlayStation. Like, dude, I didn't have that lifestyle, right? And at that moment, I used to talk shit. I used to hate him. I used to just be furious, bro. And then, but looking years later, now I get to look back. He taught me a discipline of, like, having to earn, like, do something to earn, for something. Like, I had to work if I wanted to play PS3. Right, and I'm a kid, bro, but he's still making me work. He'll still pay me, but on top of that, it's just he taught me the value, like, you got to work to get things. Things are not just given to you. So I didn't understand it then, but then now it's like, if he didn't give me that lesson to, like, having to work to earn things, then I'd probably be like, just not understanding that, and I probably wouldn't be where I'm at. So it's kind of like he raised me to where I'm at now without really, like, telling me anything, just kind of showing an example and, like, just putting me like that, because my brother, he was like the future soccer player.
Yeah.
So he gave him everything. And obviously, like, now he's starting to mature, but it took him longer.
Is this your older brother?
My older brother, yeah.
So was it kind of like, you think you got pushed a lot because you were kind of like that last or middle child?
I called myself like the failure child because my brother was a pro soccer player.
Yeah.
And I was just like that kid in the shadow, kind of like, oh, he's over here trying to do skateboarding. He doesn't know what he's doing.
You feel like they worried about you and you're like, hey, man, we got to push this guy more?
Nah, I think they just accepted me, like, oh, this guy's just like just work at a job, manager, and that's it. Like, there was no, like, there's no future with this kid. Yeah. And then I had all my family constantly in my ear, like, oh, like, doesn't affect you. Like, like, your parents are giving your brother everything. And I told my parents, like, I get it. You guys treated us the same, but it always did affect me. But I felt like I liked that because it made me a better, stronger person. It made me work harder. It made me just become who I am today. So in a way, like, I don't take none of that back, It's kind of like, it's something that I'm thankful to go through that, even though I didn't like it at that time. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I myself owe it a lot of my, like, the way I am. I feel like I owe it a lot to my father as well, because he pushed me a lot, right? I'm the oldest child, so he would, like, take me out, like, to go work on car parts or to go, like, do the lawn, to go work in general and stuff like that. He used to clean buildings, and he would take me to go clean buildings with him. Like, whatever it was, dude. I used to hate Home Depot, by the way. I hated Home Depot. Did you work there,
or are you just talking about going
there?
No,
I'm talking about, like, my dad taking me to Home Depot.
Oh, okay.
We'll pull up, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to go to Home Depot. I don't want to go to Home Depot. Fast forward, bro, like, me and my dad, like, we go to Home Depot together, and we're like, I'm shopping around and shit. Like, I'm happy at Home Depot now.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But he's a very interesting character. I don't think you ever met him.
No.
Maybe you can meet him sometime. But yeah, I got a lot of, like, I feel like my leadership things. He does this. I don't think I ever told this story really, but growing up, he's funny. Growing up, he's always taught me how to not take shortcuts, how to do things the right way, right? So, for example, like, doing the lawn, right? I'm like, dude, we have a leaf blower. We could just blow all the leaves and collect them and quick. And he would be like, no, like, we're not doing the leaf blower. You're going to get the rake and you're going to rake all the leaves together. And then you're going to pick up the leaves. And I'm just like, bro, like, I never understood that. Like, why? We have the leaf blower. He never let me take shortcuts. And he has this thing about him that, like, he has, like, a whole garage. He will have garages, right? Packed of shit all the time. I don't know. He loves to keep shit together, like, right? And on the weekends, he'll open up the garage door and it'd be all kinds of boxes everywhere, unorganized and shit. And he'll be like, we got to take all this out and then we're going to put it back in organized. And we're like, oh, I'm a kid. I don't want to do that, bro. I want to play video games. I don't want to do that. And he'll be like, you got to do it. So we'll get in there one box at a time, right? And I just start putting the stuff everywhere. And he's just like, no. I'm like, what? And he's just like, you're going to take the boxes out. You're going to organize them outside. and then you're gonna take the boxes and then you're gonna reorganize them inside. And I said, what? Like, why can't we just take everything out and then organize them? You know, like, why does that matter? That step? Why does that step matter, right? And little do I know, like growing up, I felt like it was kind of like a Karate Kid, like the hand wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
Like you're like, why the fuck am I doing this? I don't understand this shit. And to this day, I still don't know what his theory was behind that shit. But I feel like that like has pushed me to like do things the right way, you know, like to never be lazy about things. So
what led you guys to like, you know, start this Airbnb? Like whose idea was that, and how did he push you into this?
So starting the Airbnb was like right before COVID, right? He had an estate that he was gonna flip, and he was just like, you know what? While I try to remodel the place, get the funds together, remodel the place so I can flip it. You know, I heard Airbnb is doing really well. I heard something about Airbnb, right? I didn't even know what Airbnb was. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I kind of seen it on the news. Yeah, okay, I seen it on the web pages. So yeah, I went and did my homework, and again, the house looked really trashy, but for some reason there was like supply and demand. There was a shortage of Airbnbs. Again, like when someone has an idea that sounds crazy and you kind of just run with it, those are usually the ideas that blow up, right? So little by little, like I'm like, okay, you know, how much will people pay to like stay at this house or whatever? So we started off at like $90 a night. And then same thing, like it just blew up, bro. It started getting booked and booked. I'm like, nah, this is too low. And I started experimenting with the prices, raising them up. And then that was in the beginning of the first year. And then COVID kind of hit. And it was pretty amazing because since everything shut down, the bars, everything, people were looking for a space to like gather at, you know? And Airbnb became the thing. And we had like the perfect space. So it just, throughout COVID, it just blew up, dude. I had to hire a cleaning crew because it's just like, you know, I couldn't work, do my videography on the side, and then, you know, handle the Airbnb bookings because it was like every day or every other day. And I'm like, yeah, it blew up that way. So I think it's been about 4 or 5 years now that we've been into Airbnb. And yeah, it's highly recommended. I recommend a lot of my friends to do it. Yeah.
That's the next move that I'm trying to get into.
Yeah, I highly recommend you, man. I'm telling you, I have like 1 or 2 buddies that like one of my guys, he has like 4 Airbnb listings now within Inglewood and Los Angeles. We sat down one time at a wing spot and we were just talking, and it's crazy because it's like I had ran this idea through like really successful people in my city where I'm from. And then they kind of just ran it upwards to like their boss. And the boss was like, like, you know, like, I don't believe it. I'm like, seriously. I said, look, I was trying to like be like the manager, the consultant. I'm like, look at the numbers. They're real. Airbnb is the way to go. Let's invest. I'll manage for you. And then they liked it. But when they brought it up to the boss was just like, nah, that's bogus. We don't need it. So when I sat down with this other guy, because he's an entrepreneur himself, and I told him about the Airbnb space and why somebody wouldn't take like that free game, you know, when I'm like a clear example that it works. And he was just like, some people are just like, they're stubborn, you know, some people are stuck in their old traditional ways.
Yep.
And, you know, Hispanics and stuff like that.
Yep, I'm in that right now.
Yeah. See, and I know it's funny because you preach that a lot. You tell like people like, hey man, like, I got the means, I got the vision. Mario Vision's right. I got the vision. I just need the people and the right people, really.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we all like, it's kind of like typical jobs. You look for an employee and sometimes like they're really good at something, or they might not do it 100% right, but their hearts are in the right place for it. So you're like, okay, I'm going to keep them. And then that's when you hire the person that kind of picks up that slack, right? Yeah. And then, you know, you start hiring and kind of just start managing, really. But yeah, basically, has it been really tough for you to like get people on board? Because I know you talk about the importance of a team, and I feel like ever since you've got a solid team, you literally like you blew up, I feel. So you showed me the importance of like what it's like having a team and what you can achieve. And I feel like you're still looking to like hire, or you're looking for people, or what? Talk to me about that, man.
Me and my girl, we just had like a little, like, not an argument, but we were like both talking to each other about, like, dude, so we're opening up a new studio, right? Yeah. And, you know, everything's busy.
Have you announced that?
No.
All right, guys.
So they watched
we got them. You heard it here.
They watched it.
You heard it
now
here
they
first.
know. But I'll announce it when it's done. But if they watch this, they know it's coming. Yeah, we're just talking like, man, like it's so hard to get people nowadays to work, bro. Like people's mindsets, instead of asking the right questions, they ask the dumb question like, what's your rate? Instead of what's the job title? And then after that, it's like, oh, you know what? I don't bring nothing to the table, but if it's an opportunity for them, just step in and kind of like take it because you're going to grow and learn. Yeah. But everybody just wants the money, but they have nothing to offer. So it's kind of like, it's very hard to find someone to just be real with themselves. Like, bro, like this is just a job.
I mean, I feel like if you pour your heart, sweat, tears, blood, right? I'm sure blood has been shed, right? You had to get a paper cut or something in the studio, right?
That was John.
Yeah,
I just looked at John and was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. Because when I was building my my Airbnb, when we were modeling, at some point, like I cut myself, and I'm like, I can officially say that blood has been.
I can't say that. Sorry, John. John was the guy for that.
Somebody dedicated themselves, really. But really, when you're pouring your whole heart out into something that you believe in, and you're looking for people, it's just like. It sucks when they're just like looking at the money behind it, because it's like you want somebody that sees the vision too, right? That's just like, hey man, like let's work together and then we could all eat, versus like, hey, what's for dinner tonight? Like what the fuck? Like that's rude as hell, bro. Like,
well, I mean, that's why like I think the ones that are doing good right now and they're gonna get a lot from me if I was to keep growing. John, you know, like the people that believe in the vision. There's a lot of people that believe in not even believe, they want what's in the moment instead of like learning like. You know, chill. And then if this person grows, and every entrepreneur for the most part, there is some dicks out there, bro, but there is those people that are those entrepreneurs that really look out for who's really with them, who's their ride and die. And those are people that will get fed, you know, but a lot of people don't view that. Like, it's very important to like understand, you know, it takes a while. Like, I can give back right now, but I always say like, if I give back, that's taken away from me investing to really give them something that I really want to give them, you know? And in a short term, it's not going to be 20 years from now. It'd be like 3-5 years, you know? Sometimes it just takes time for that entrepreneur, the main guy, to get, you know, to be able to give back to people.
That, I'm curious now because you kind of like, I kind of thought about it as you were saying this, but have they ever like lost faith in the vision? Because they're like, hey, you know, like, have you ever like felt a moment where they're kind of like, you know what? I've been working too much and it's like, I don't see like the big picture now.
No. So far, I mean, that's probably like a question for John.
You just got some. Yeah,
I think that's
a
question
for John.
But honestly, dude, like for me, this is the way I view it. So I have John and I have Edwin, right? And what I try to do is I always try to do new things to make more money and to feed them. You know, they kind of inspire me. So like every time, like, so I think they seen it through all this time. You know, they always know I'm always trying new things. I'm always trying to open new studios. Every new studio means more money for them because I'm not there. I don't run it. I just build it and I bring the
more jobs. You're building more jobs.
Yeah, basically. More jobs, and it's gonna go towards them because everything I do. I was just talking to one of my homies. He's like, damn, another studio. Like, what for? I'm like, cuz right now I have Edwin as a full time, and John's gonna come back after I think September, and. Right now, the two studios are doing really good, but I want John to be fed too. Once he comes back, well, I have this guy on full time. What about John? So the real reason why I want to open up a new studio as well is because I want to feed John. Like, you know, that's my guy. Like, that guy's been there since many people don't know, and that's why he's like my ride and die. He held me on the first studio for like, I'll probably say he probably put 60 hours unpaid. What type of person is ever going to do that? He saw the vision. I don't know what he did, why he decided to do that. But he did it, bro, and then forever I'm grateful for. So that's like the guy that I'm like, all right, I'm gonna feed this man, whatever, at all costs. That's probably like my motivation right there. Like I gotta do whatever I can to make sure this guy's fed because he made sure I was fed. So no matter if things are going slow down, and
it's like an investment, right?
Yeah,
he put his own 60 hours into your vision, and you saw that, and you're like, I like this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he honestly put more hours in that, but that's just like on top of my head. He did a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. How you call it? What do you think has been like your biggest mistake so far in all this?
I would probably have to say wasting my time trying to help people.
Okay, which is weird because you just mentioned helping people.
No, I mean like there's so many people I try to guide and like, you know, try to help
Oh,
out.
okay, like
but
next level stuff.
yeah, and not instead of doing that, because a lot of people are not like, there's those, bro, it's like, you know, it's a small percentage of not everybody be
Yeah.
entrepreneur out there in this world. But wasting my time trying to help others and they're not taking that type of advice, instead of putting it on myself, knowing I could use that time and actually grow, because I'm willing to put the foot forward and take the step and do what it takes and learn. A lot of people don't want that, so I'm just doing that, and I'm like, dude, like, come on, like, I think you just talked to me about that one time.
At some point, like you're doing self affirmations, right?
Yeah.
You're like, fuck it, you got this, Mario.
Bro,
You got this, Mario.
yeah, there's sometimes I look in the mirror, I was like, I don't want to do this.
Instead of telling somebody else all the time, hey, I think you got this, bro. Like,
John, I need a text message from John, like, hey, you got this.
You got
He said,
this.
John, you're watching this? Make sure you text me, you got this.
Yeah, but Mario was super nervous, but he's like, I don't know. John told me I got it, so I guess I got it.
That guy's mindset is very cool. Like, it's always like, it is what it is.
But you just mentioned something about like when you were talking to me about, what was it? Because I know I recently went to your house.
Yeah.
And I felt like I got like free consultation. We sat down and we were just
you.
like, you know what? It's so cool because I just like, it's not even that we're grown-ups, because people our age are still like going to bars every weekend, getting drunk every weekend. They look forward to their Fridays for the like to have fun and stuff like that. What's your way of having fun, dude? Because I don't never see Mario Visions like, I mean, I see you have fun with in what you do.
Yeah.
But is that it? Or like, do you ever plan a vacation or
So
like,
look,
just,
I have never had a vacation, bro, since I started this.
yeah.
It's funny, like 2 days ago I saw a podcast. I don't watch his YouTube, but it was just like, I watched one episode 2 days ago from Mr. Beast.
Oh yeah.
And they had him on a podcast, and I watched it, and they're like, what's your way of having fun? He's like, if I'm not working, he said, I work 99% of the time. If I'm not working, I'm depressed. And I related to that so much. But I will say, what I'm trying to do every day is try to buy my time back. So everything I'm building, bro, is to eventually like take a week off. Me and my girl, like since the moment we've been together, bro, we have never taken a vacation. So like people think, you know, like you got to take a step back. Like, yes, but then also there's just so much to do, and we're young right now. It's kind of like use all your energy that you have now, because later on, bro, you have a kid, you can't do all these things, you know, or there's other things that come up. So if you have the time and you're young, bro, just go all in and just, you know, as much as you can. So that way, I always say, when you are old and you're in that bed, at least you can say, I gave my all on everything I did, rather than regret things.
You know, it's crazy because that's like real life stuff. Like you have to talk to your partner about. Like me and my girl recently were just like, it's summertime. Everyone's taking vacations and having a great time. And I'm telling her, hey, you know what? Like I got some stuff like in the making, and like I'm sorry to tell you, but I don't think we're gonna be able to take a vacation this summer. But I tell her like next year, like I promise you, the vacation's gonna probably be twice as big. Like I'm working on some things, and I feel like it takes a really strong partner to understand that. Because I think we're in a shortage of like good men, but
Yeah.
we're also in a shortage of like good women. I feel, you know, women
Facts.
that understand the vision, or who like have the mentality to support. Mario Vision, you're an inspired millionaire, right?
I'm an inspired millionaire?
You're an inspiring millionaire, right?
What do you mean?
You're an inspired millionaire. Like you're inspired to get $1 million, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Has that happened yet?
Lifetime, yes, but like not.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like year.
Not
like,
in a year. That's the
when
goal.
when you submit your forms and shit.
Yeah,
like,
not yet. That's
the
my goal. That's the goal.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Okay.
scary though, because the taxes behind that. I don't know. That's a scary. If you're making $1 million, the tax you got to pay is kind of scary.
You know, bro, I just got on a consultation call with a like tax lawyer this morning.
For real?
Yeah.
How was that?
I literally took, you know, that talk that we had at your place, and yeah, I did. I got some things going in the background, so it's like, yeah. So I feel like one could definitely benefit with a sit down talk with someone like yourself, you know. And I feel like it sucks when like people like they deny it, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like, what, bro? I'm trying to help you out here, like, you know.
They don't know the value.
They don't know the value, huh?
That's valuable information.
It's like you look back at
That's
the Corvette and you're
consultation right
like,
there, bro.
you sure you don't want to come talk to me?
Like-
Like, you sure? Like,
That's facts.
it's like, you sure? No? Get in the Jeep. What about now?
Dude, I actually
No?
someone just reached out to me today, asked me a question like, how do you stay so disciplined? And he again, I told him, but it's kind of like just brushed it off. I'm like, bro, why even ask?
Yeah.
Like I'm giving you the game, and no one
You
wants.
feel him kind of doze off as you're telling him, or what?
Not those off,
Right.
but more of like he wanted to hear something different instead of hearing the reality of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
It's like, bro, check this out. If you just sit at home and do nothing all day, like,
yo, bro.
that's
For real,
that's how I woke up with all this. Honestly, one day it just like it was here, bro. It was weird.
I believe you because every time I see your stories, you have new gear.
Let's not talk about the new gear, man.
It's expensive.
Yeah, I think you asked me how much I invested in my gear last time I was on your show, and I might have underpriced myself. I think like today, you're like, how much does this cost? How much is this? And I'm like, oh, it was only this much. And my girl's like, no, actually, it was more than that. It's just like, well, I guess that's what I tell myself, right?
We try to hide it.
Man, dude. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out some questions because we're nearing like the end of the show. Again, bro, I'm so happy that you're here. I've been wanting to host you for a long time. So,
Thanks for having me, bro.
somebody asked. I don't get this question. They said, "Why make a podcast?" Real talk.
Why make a podcast?
Yeah, why make a podcast? Real talk. I don't know, bro. So why do you? Why? I think that was directed to like me as well. I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
too
actually
sure.
a good two-way
Yeah.
question.
So
Why make a
because
podcast?
you have a podcast show, we're on a podcast show. So I don't know, Mario Visions. Tell them, why do we make a podcast? Why do
So
we do
I
it?
make my podcast because I want to bring other. So I have two, right? One I'm about to release that we've done a few already, but so the filmmaker one is really to one network of creatives, bring new creatives in, get myself to know people, network. But number two is help the filmmaking community and the photography community, any creatives in general. So that's why I make a podcast. There's a lot of things that don't get covered sometimes, or sometimes you really got to throw some real stuff to the people out there.
Yeah.
So it's just whatever I can to help people, elevate their game, or maybe with a business gem, anything that really people don't really talk about, So I think a podcast is a good way to kind of give them that information and honestly network, because you can just reach out to people, and it's just networking is like, it's an easy way to network.
I think it's a modern day form of networking. And again, like if you don't understand it, then you're probably too late to jump on the bus. Nah, I'm just kidding. I just started the podcast show, but no, I just started the podcast, and podcasting has been around, and I get that question a lot. Like, bro, like I'll get some snobby people like, oh yeah, my friend had podcasts, or yeah, I used to do that. That was popular during COVID, but why now? Like they'll just say some stupid shit like that around me, and I'll be looking at them like, I don't think you get the bigger picture, bro. Like it's never too late to do something that someone else already did, but better, right? We always have to add our touch. Like, is there a podcast show like mine out there? Is there a podcast show like, Mario Visions out there? I don't think so, right?
Everyone has their own. It's like,
It's like, oh, someone already got that car, bro. Why do you have that car? Like, what the fuck you talking about
I'm
right
gonna
now, bro?
get that car and make it my own.
Yeah, like, what
That's
the
really-
fuck, bro? Like, that's a stupid ass question. But anyways,
Let's throw them under the bus.
just what's the secret on getting consistent bookings? Ooh, can we get some secrets from Mario Visions on the show?
Secrets. There is no secret. The main ingredient is quality. It's not about making short-term fast content. Quality is always gonna win. I get random clients, bro, and what's the first thing they say? Bro, your image, your colors, your color palette, this, that, and they're like, and a lot of it is not really like a treatment towards my thing. I do my own personal, like, as far as like my own kind of searching, as far as like they want this studio, then I break it down. Okay, wear this because we're in this type of studio, and I already go with a game plan as far as lighting. But quality, bro, it's no matter what, bro. Quality is gonna outweigh anything else, bro. And it might not happen in the moment, but it will happen long term. If you don't have to do no marketing, every video you're releasing or whatever it is that you're doing in your profession, it's gonna be dominant and real good that you can't oversee that. You'll know. And that's a good way to stay consistent. It's kind of like the studios. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
I build big sets, quality over. I can build like the first studio, 50, not 50, but like a gang of sets.
50 sets in one.
Yeah, or you
The
can
bathroom has a set. Like,
for real.
yeah.
Or you can do just like 8 but they're dominant big sets that you focus for everybody, and that takes you a long ways instead
Quality over quantity.
exactly.
For sure.
That should always remain.
That's actually a good answer because every time clients contact me for my work, that's the first thing they bring up. Man, your work looks amazing. Keyword looks amazing. They don't know what kind of gear we're working with. They just know it looks amazing.
That's the main important thing.
And it was eye-opening working with you the other week on a wedding film because you, like, if my videos are quality now, I seen the importance of shooting with prime lenses. So now I'm like,
You fell in love with the 50, huh?
bro, I fell in love with the 50. I went for the 85. Why did I go for the 85? Because I knew that if I went from the 50, I might have just stopped for the 50. So I got the 85 first because I still want the 50. So that's just going to push me. I don't know. It's just weird, bro. But yeah, you showed me the importance of shooting with prime lenses and what it can do to your like image. And I think I'm so ready to like incorporate that in my wedding films. So I'm excited for that. Let's see. We have another question. What was the startup process like getting into weddings? Yeah, so that's interesting. What made you get into weddings?
So it started with like some Ernie. So I met some dude. It was on OfferUp. I was buying an ND filter, and I met him, and he was like, "You shoot weddings?" I was like, "No, but you know, like I feel like I could." He's like, "Oh, what's your number?" He lived like kind of local, and he took me to his first wedding, and as a second shooter. I think I probably did like 12 second shooter weddings before I finally booked my first official one. I probably even did 15 second shooter weddings, right? But well, I think the beautiful part about the whole journey that I had is I never did. Now there was after like 7 second shooter weddings, I was like, dude, I can't even lock in my own. Like, you know, eventually it's like, man, maybe I'm not good. Like you start questioning, but the benefit of doing all those, bro, and like it was just you're able to learn from the first shooter. And you know, when the moment you do yours, you know what you want to do different as far as your style. And you're not gonna go in there nervous. It's just you're comfortable. Now you're just the 8 shooter, but it's really no difference.
Yeah.
But I think that's how I started, just doing a lot of second shooter weddings until finally I did my own.
Now that I bring that up, it's crazy because I just jumped right in as an 8 shooter for weddings. I never shadowed anybody, bro.
You're crazy.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I never shadowed anybody. The first person I came to shadowing was you, and I'm already like a few weddings in.
Yeah.
So like that's what I was saying. Like it was interesting to see how you do things and how like I could kind of incorporate that and like what's easier, what's not. And I liked it. We had a good time, and I know we kind of talked like weddings tips and tricks with each other. We kind of shared each other's like, so that was fun. But now that you bring that up, I just dove right into weddings, bro. And YouTube was like my mentor.
Shit. Yeah. Like I had you know, we all follow the same kind of YouTubers for wedding stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I learned all that, but it's just
it's different when you're out there, bro.
It's scary. It's a lot of money, and it's their day. And if you fuck it up, it can go bad. You know, like I mean, dude, it's their once in a lifetime, so you cannot, like, you know, finesse it. Like I think the biggest advice I could tell everybody, and this actually just happened recently. I was doing a wedding, and the photographer told me, "Hey, my husband's gonna do a wedding. Like, can you come? Like, what kind? No, it was like, what kind of gear you think he should get?" And I was like, "It's his first wedding." I was like, "Okay, is he gonna do it himself?" It's like, "Yeah." Like, how much is he gonna charge? He's like, "Oh, 500." But they know it's his first time. I was like, use that $500 and pay for someone that's professional and have him learn under him or
that's
her. That's
actually smart.
Because if not, if he fucks up, I don't care if they understand it. You know damn well they're not gonna take it lightly.
Dude, that is so smart. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
So she ended up because they were like, "What kind of camera?" I was like, "Look, you see the sun outside? It's hot, right?" We had 3 cameras, one overheated like 4 times. So I was like, "And you're only gonna get 1 camera? Just look at what just happened." So she understood. Like we talked as it went through. So eventually, like she was like, "Thank you so much." We hired a second shooter, you know, and I was like, all your money's gonna go towards them, but you're gonna love it because now you can use a strong marketing video because that 8 shooter just got you everything.
You just reinvested into yourself on the spot.
Yeah, right? And then going forward, you could probably up your video, and now he makes money, and your second shooter now makes money. So he gets to learn under the first shooter, adapted into the second one. So yeah, that was like a.
Did you go to college?
No. No.
Did you ever like school?
No, I hated it.
No.
It was never my thing, bro. Never had a passion for it.
I feel like most entrepreneurs, they either drop out of college or just don't go to college at all.
I tried. I went like for a month.
Okay, so you have some intro.
I went for a month.
You heard everybody's names in the class, and you were like, "Man, fuck this shit."
Now I think the main, thankfully it happened to me. Honestly, I never had a passion for school, but I remember. So I dropped. You know, you could withdraw classes. Like they give you like a certain time, and you could withdraw, so without getting an F or anything.
Yeah.
So I withdrew 2 times. The third time I was like, all right, this semester I'm gonna freaking commit. I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna freaking study this and that. I went and I tried my best, bro. Like I didn't miss a time. I got there on time. I did everything right. And then I think 2 weeks in, the teacher like will call each student out. It's like, hey Mario, I don't know what better way to say this, but you got an F. I'm like, bro, like I literally did the best. So in that moment, I walked out. I was like, you know what? This is not for me.
Oh my God.
And I remember I told her like, hey, I'm gonna go use the restroom. And I just left.
No, you didn't, bro.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done with this. I was like, I can't. That was a moment I was like, school is not for me. And I'm just gonna go work and try to make money.
Yeah.
That was like my mind.
And then you went to Home Depot?
I went to 99-cent store.
Oh shit, bro.
I went to go work at 99-cent store. My dad had
and
like,
you were happy with it, like
yeah, because I was getting paid. I was making some money, you know. It's like at school, I was just kind of like,
man, fuck them teachers, bro.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you know, it's just school is not for everybody. It wasn't for me. I'm not like I have like ADHD where I can't just stay in one place. So sitting down in a desk for an hour, bro, I fall asleep.
Bro, fuck, bro. When I used to go to college, I had like 2 teachers pull me aside after class. They're like, hey man, you're really smart. You're doing like, you're a great writer. I'm like, okay, because I got nothing but fucking C's and D's in high school, and you're telling me that I'm a great writer in a university. Like, which one is it, bro? Like, who's lying to me here?
Yeah.
But point is, they pull me aside and they're like, hey, like, we just want to talk to you. I'm like, oh, what's up? They're like, you're kind of quiet in class. They're like, is everything okay?
Is this college or?
This was in college, bro.
Oh man.
This was in college. I swear to God. They're like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm just like a quiet guy. I feel like I'm very mature for my age. Like, I don't know, like what can I say about that, you know? And then it tripped me out because I don't know if they fucking made a group email because I went to like the next class and like the next teacher pulled me aside like, hey, is everything okay at home, or how's everything with you? I'm like, yeah, why is everybody asking me this shit, bro? Like,
bro, that reminded me. I told my girl this. I remember when we went to up the hills. I don't know where you took me for like a proposal.
Yeah, Temecula.
Dude, I laughed. I was telling my girl I was laughing because I remember we were coming back. And then I was like, hey, bro, are you good? And you were like, why does everyone ask me this? Because you look zoned out. You look lost. And I was like, bro, you good? And I told my girl, when I got home, I told my girl, like, I was holding on to that seat, like, I better get home. I was like, freaking Rick. And on the way...
Bro, are you good? Why does everybody ask me that?
That had me rolling.
No, dude.
And then on the way to proposal, we missed like 3 exits. And you're like, bro... And I was like, bro, like, we were supposed to exit. He's like, see, that's why I can't talk and drive, like, or something like that.
Dude, bro, my girl, I do that shit, and it's always to something important. I miss a fucking exit, and it's always to something important. And the morning that my girl's water broke, 5 in the morning, right? We're on the fucking freeway. She was like looking at me. She's like, you better not miss a fucking exit. I was like, fuck, bro. Like,
yeah, so she already knows.
Dude, she knows me
That's
already, bro.
Funny.
Fucking pregnant, water break. I'm driving into the hospital and shit. It was like a 45-minute drive or so. I don't know. It was like in Long Beach or something like that. And I was just like, she was like, you better not miss a fucking exit. She was tripping out. It was her first baby, you know? Water broke.
Yeah.
She thought like it's in the movies, like you have the baby right away and shit like that.
Are
Are you okay, bro?
He was just like zoned out. Just
What's
like,
up with that, bro? Like, everybody that talks about working with Rick Productions talks about how I zoned the fuck out.
It's because
like,
you know you got a lot going on in your head, bro. You're trying different things.
I'm doing my taxes early on and shit in my head.
You're like, yeah, I gotta pay this. It's a lot. It's a lot in the head.
Wonder if I left the stove on. Wonder what's to eat tonight, bro. I'm telling you, man.
That was
like,
a funny day, though.
When I worked with you, I think Diddy was like, hey man, it was good working with you. I didn't see you get lost one bit. I think.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Like, you didn't get lost that day.
That's the what the fuck?
That was like the first time you were like present.
That's
and
weird,
like,
bro.
In the moment. I was like,
yeah.
I was waiting. I was like, he's probably gonna get lost.
Probably because I felt like I was like on the like, what's it called? On the clock.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Probably second shoot, you more relaxed. You know, nothing too crazy. Like
chill out
you're just chilling.
Anyways, dude, that shit was funny, dude. Next question. This one's kind of personal. What's your projected income for this year? I don't think. Nah, this is like. We can talk about your goal. What's your goal for the end of the year? I think we kind of
income wise,
yeah.
gross, at least I would like to, like a realistic goal. I mean, you're never supposed to have a goal because it can always over exceed,
Yeah.
but I'd be happy if I made like 750.
Yeah. Okay.
That's gross. Net, I would like to have at least 500.
He's
but
lying. He's a millionaire, guys.
Nah,
He's for sure a millionaire
Like
already.
it's good to have to aim for something big, and then if you don't reach it, at least you really worked for that. Rather than like, oh yeah, I just want to make 300,000, and that's just like the worst mentality. So I always like to aim big. You don't get there.
I was just thinking about your professor telling you like, hey Mario, like your tax lady, you're just gonna walk out of the office like, what do you mean?
He's like,
What do you mean I didn't make $1 million this year? You know, like
for reals.
fuck that. The next question is, we're almost done here. Let's see. The next question is, what's your next talent co-owner, CEO? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I'm guessing they're trying to ask like, I guess what's the next move for you?
The next move. So this is actually like a 3-year plan.
Okay.
So we're gonna get a house. Another one. We're working on it right now.
Okay.
But my goal is this is probably like a good gem for everybody, realistically.
Okay.
If you guys have money or good savings or just money in general, me from looking at houses within my area and just overall LA, like close by, bro, you gotta make so much money to get a house right now. Like much money. So start getting houses. If you're in LA and you're making good money, you obviously can't buy a house, but you're making solid money. Save up and start getting houses in different areas outside state. Go to Vegas, buy a house. Go to over here, buy a house. Start building it, because in LA, just doing it, bro, you can go broke just trying to get something because you want to have a house. Just get a house in different places, then come back and get your house you want out here, because that's where you want to be at. But
start building that income, that passive income kind of thing.
Yeah, so real estate is where I really want to get into, like just start buying. So in the next 3 years, I would like to get 2 houses.
You can never go wrong with real estate, man.
You can't.
It's just, yeah.
That's
the book of success right there, real estate. I think this is the last question. But someone asked, ask him why he's trash.
That has to be John. That has to be John.
I didn't know I didn't want to blow his cover, but yeah.
It was John.
Yeah.
Why I'm trash?
Why are you trash, Mario Visions?
Because John,
I'm gonna title that shit on the video. Why is Mario Visions trash? That's gonna get a lot of clicks.
Which
bro.
is that camera, right?
Yeah.
All right, John, this is personal. You know those weddings that I told you to make a highlight for? As soon as you send them to me, you're not getting paid. That's why I'm trash. Imagine you did all of them already. He's gonna hate my ass. Nah, John, I love you, but fucking John, I already know when it's John. Like he's like quick to call.
He just like keeps you on your toes or what?
That guy's just funny, bro. I think he's like the perfect guy to have, where like I'm so stressed out, but just seeing him how he's so chill and calm, it allows me to like try to like level down, like just kind of like not level down, but like feel the same way he feels. Like just chill, Mario. Like just chill, Don't overthink, don't overdo it. Relax.
Yeah.
So seeing him kind of allows me to.
It's good to have a guy like that around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we just about reached an hour, and I want to end the show. Is there anything you want to tell me? If anything you want to ask me right now that we're wrapping up now?
Well, there's 2 things actually. The first one is,
Okay.
what's your next move? Like, what would you like to do the next year or 2?
Put me on the hot seat. My next move is, honestly, I know it sounds kind of backwards because I have everything already going, but I want to establish myself the right way. That way I don't have to worry about it moving forward. I felt like building like these businesses, I did all the front end work and I didn't do any of the back end work. So now it's just like I'm kind of in reverse. Once I get that done and I'm like for sure like legitly doing the business, I know it's going to open up more doors. And from there, yeah, just like I said, a lot of good things have been happening lately. So I think I'm going to be in a way better place next year. I don't want to assume because one never knows, but as of now, I'm for sure going to be in a way better place next year in terms of financially and success and everything. Yeah.
And the next question is not really a question. I think it's pretty cool that you're straight up front about it, and I think a lot of people need to hear this. But every time I tell you, bro, why don't you do photo, video like full time, you know? And you're like, you know, I'm comfortable at my job, and then along with I do filmmaking still, but I have my job and they pay good benefits and stuff like that. So I really want you to, I guess, more tell the people, because I feel like social media is all like, you got to be an owner, you got to make millions, and it stresses people out, meaning like, you know, they think they got to do things and then they start panicking. So like, in a way, I want you to tell people like, you know, your mindset, like, you know, because it's okay to have it and you can still make a lot of money, but you don't have to be an entrepreneur, because everyone pushes it on social media like, you got to do this, you got to have businesses. That's not always the case. Like,
you got to. And I like, that's interesting, because just last night I have a buddy that he's just like, lately he's been like really invested in the industry. Like he's met people like that have their TV shows on live television. He's met actors. He's met Latino directors. He's like out there right now lately. He's having a lot of connections, and he's just like, bro, I want you to come to one of these mansion networking parties with me, because you have a lot of potential, man. And I keep telling you, and you're not listening.
I told you this many times.
Dude, he told me that, right? And I get that, not just from you, not just from him. I get that from a lot of people. And like I told him last night, like, man, I'm sorry. Like, I guess I'm just in my own little world. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm comfortable. I know that's a bad word, but maybe I'm just comfortable. Maybe I'm just like, maybe I have my own little vision, because it's always nice to know that like those doors are open. But I do sometimes sit back. Oh my God, what is going on? Main camera.
That's the main one? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we got the main one. We got the main one. Good, because this is the main one. It's the only thing we need right now. But what I do stress about is... and then it's going to be capturing greatness. I do worry about how long those doors are going to remain open for me, because I know nothing like lasts forever, you know? It's like making the perfect woman wait. She's, you know, once nothing works out for you because you made her wait, you turn around and she's like married already with another person, and you're just like, fuck.
What a great way. Definitely the right way. I'm sorry, guys, but this is good. This is good.
So please, Mario bitches, don't close your doors on me, bro. Man. You know, I'll sweep the fucking studios, whatever the fuck it is, bro. Just like, it's nice to know that there's job opportunities out there for someone like me, you know? And it's funny because I actually I want to go into law enforcement. And just today I talked to an LAPD officer, and he was just like, he stopped because I talked to him about his tax advisors, right? And I'm like, hey man, by the way, like, what's up with LAPD? And he's just like, hey man, like, we hardly have time to do anything, and it seems like you got it going for yourself. So why would you want to be a cop? You know? And it's just like, damn, you're right. And it's kind of like what I get from you now. Like, bro, why are you doing what you're doing now when you can just like, what the fuck?
Do this full time.
Like, dude, you're already doing it. You already kind of have like the mindset for it, and you already like, you know, dipped your toes in and stuff. But again, bro, Mario Visions, it's an honor to have you on the podcast show, bro.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Thank you for coming. And if you guys want to see more content with Mario Visions, let us know down in the comment section below, guys. I'm really doing this with no profit, doing this all out of my heart, investing all this into this just for the purpose of getting creators to come together and talk about things. So please, guys, at the very least, it'll be very nice to get a like on the video, comment on the video, share the video. And yeah, guys, thank you for coming through, bro.
Subscribe as well.
Subscribe. There you go. Forgot about that one. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. And yeah, man. Thank you, bro.
For sure. It's a freaking Rick. Hey.